Halloween is here. This is a weird week weird month because we had an episode that comes out day after Halloween.
Yeah.
And then we have this episode that comes out like a week before. So this is technically our Halloween episode.
This is technically it.
Leading up to Halloween.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then we're the prelude. Is that how this is? Is that what the word is?
Prelude? I don't know.
Wow.
Haphazardly.
How are you? A lemon? Apparently Christine isn't to be found.
I am not here today. This is my counterpart and your nemesis, Lemon.
From your head to your toes.
That's right. So I wore this for our Halloween stream. Okay, there's a lot going on. First of all, I appeared in Los Angeles. Yes, my arms are tired. And then I went to the apartment and these folks were hiding behind a counter and absolutely wrecked my nervous system probably for the next month.
Yeah, so Eva and I, since Christine left, only like a couple days after the last time Christine was here.
Like last month, yeah.
We've been taking this whole time, and we haven't been telling Christine, but we have been organizing our apartment, which for those of you who know, Christine and I share an apartment out here, which
it's so cute. Don't worry about it.
And that's why we drink studios. And it was not looking hot for a long time, and during live streams we would try not to
people would be like, can we see the apartment? And we'd show a corner and be like,
we were squatting. We were essentially squatting.
And I was sleeping on a dusty, it was like an air mattress, but then I would roll off into the dust bowl of the corner.
It was just an apartment that we got it a week before quarantine. Yeah. And so before we knew anything was going to happen. So we never got to furnish it and make it a nice home. It just ended up being a squatting space.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to surprise Christine and give her the apartment of her dreams.
It was a no joke. I was you reached into my psyche from 8th grade and created. There's literally a bulletin board with all these photos of my friends and family, and then at the top there's a little barcode, a Spotify barcode, and it goes to Fall Out Boy's greatest hits.
Yeah.
There's a poster, a watercolor of Zak Bagans on the wall facing my bed. Don't worry about it. There's also a beautiful mural of elephants behind the bed. I mean, it's really
my personal favorite. I got you my favorites are all the ones that you didn't mention. So I guess it's a perfect blend because I got her a poster of Threat Level Midnight.
Yes.
It was, these are all on Redbubble, by the way, if you'd like them yourselves.
You can also furnish your own ATWWD apartment.
Fashion your own creepy home. There's also a poster of Mothman doing a boudoir pose and a martini glass.
Sexy.
And then I got you a canvas print of a Lisa Frank Ouija board.
Oh, that thing is beautiful.
So that's your bedroom alone.
All our fan art is on the walls that people have mailed us over the years that were in boxes from my old house. It is.
We have a whole cross stitch wall now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, in the kitchen. It's so cute.
So it's all very beautiful. Maybe I have pictures. We'll put them somewhere.
Yeah, we should put photos, and then we can maybe do a tour of it for Patreon at some point.
Yes, we did a little bit of a tour on our Halloween virtual party.
Yes, and then we did a 2-hour virtual party, and guess what? I have bad news. I was blocked again. I was blocked again by ZB, who blocked our stream because we were watching Ghost Adventures. I felt that it fell under parody law. Apparently, Scripps International had other ideas, and so did Zach. So
we had a virtual Halloween party, and I had come up with some games that I wanted people tuning in onto the live stream. Tuning in, is that what people say?
Yes.
So? Okay.
I'm just gonna say yeah.
Tune in on the online radio.
Yeah.
And I had games prepped, and one of them was Ghost Adventures Bingo, and so everyone was going to watch Ghost Adventures together. You could generate this little card and play.
So cute.
And I feel like I'm the stupidest person in the world because if you follow me on Instagram, I do Marvel Mondays, and it originally started as a viewing party every Monday.
Right.
But Instagram very quickly let me know that I was breaking copyright laws.
Yeah.
And
they can hear you all the time. It's very frightening.
Apparently they record all of your audio and they can figure out whether or not it's coming from a copyrighted
It's very
track.
Scary stuff.
And so when I found that out, Marvel Monday became a Q&A thing for the most part. And so I should have known better than anyone that we couldn't just play Ghost Adventures.
And of all people who want retribution against me,
we need answers.
Answers. Anyway, so we re-uploaded the stream with that part cut out and a little note. Zach interference. So in any case, it was a great time. Thank you to everyone who came. It was really great. I think like 2,000 people tuned in.
People saw us. You were dressed as Lemon.
Yes.
I was dressed.
Yes, and I still am.
Still are. Haven't changed once since 2 days ago. And I was dressed as Xenon.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, okay.
Which, if you don't know who Xenon is,
you're missing out.
You need to join Patreon and go watch the Space Camp video, which was our birthday celebration.
This is like
Eva.
a weird like scavenger hunt that we're making you learn things to like because we're entertained by ourselves and we're like, you go figure it out. But Xenon was an arts and crafts project that quickly came to life.
Xenon is I found my version of Lemon. I waited a long time. I waited a long time to let myself embrace an inanimate character. I found her. I love her. I think
your souls are pretty intertwined, I would say.
Oh, she's like you know how like Geminis have like the calm side and then like the demonic side. Sure. That's Xenon's my little devil on my shoulder.
Right, and you're definitely the calm one.
And I didn't want to get. Oh no, we're both the demonic side actually.
Just to be clear, yeah,
just double like, Gemini.
The balance
negatives.
isn't there, but I think that's why Xenon works so well.
So we made Xenon, and we thought like, oh, she looks like she's someone who like drinks a lot of pumpkin spice lattes.
She loves a good frap.
She's like just swerving around in her UFO.
Yeah, she does a thing a lot of the time where she'll drop something on the floor, her cell phone usually, and then she'll go looking for it, but she's still driving, and so kind of swerving around. She's like going to the Starbucks drive-through.
Well,
really living her life.
And she the reason we gave her that persona is because when Christine decorated her, because this was Christine's decoration.
Arts and craft bejeweled her together.
She had these massive hoops, and she had these falsies that went on for days, and she had this bright pink lipstick.
Oh my God!
And the second you said,
what a peach.
She put on a few falsies, so sue her. I lost my mind.
Your switch, I've
never recovered.
I somehow, triggered some weird switch inside your soul that, you're never gonna recover.
So I didn't want to dress up as Xenon again because if you saw the live stream,
it was a lot.
It was a lot of effort. It
required a lot of body paint.
So I'm not dressed as Xenon, but I did bring something. And
what is it? Is it a Frappuccino?
I used one of our lovely partners, Vistaprint.
No. Oh, you bought a mug. Oh, you know what? I'm so upset my mug didn't come on time to bring. I brought you something. I created something on Vistaprint for you, a mug, but it's not here yet.
I got this for you.
Let me see it. I'm scared.
I'm gonna do a thing that's probably gonna piss them off. I'm gonna get a little closer to the camera so they can see it, but I want your eyes to be closed.
Piss them off.
So you don't know what's happening.
Oh,
okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna just go to this camera.
Okay. I'm wearing yellow sunglasses, so I can't see much anyway.
Okay.
Can I look?
Yes, you can. Here she is. And on the back, she put on a few falsies. So sue her.
Oh my God.
Here you go.
I am quaking in my Rothies right now.
She's yours.
Really?
To drink in the UFO, to have a little PSL in there.
How did you do that?
It was a process.
Was it?
But now
we have
a transparent PNG of Xenon.
Look at her gabbing away.
She's
I'm
hanging out.
Happy right now. And now if you're on our YouTube, you can see what she looks like without even having to go look for it like we demanded you do.
So sorry to everyone in there that I did that.
I adore it. I adore it so much. This is my new favorite.
Oh, belonging. I got it. And Eva has known about that also. Eva's known so many tricks lately.
Poor Eva.
But I got that and I was like, I am not sure if I'm even going to give it to Christine because I'm so in
I know.
love with
now
it.
I'm like, I feel bad.
But now I'm going to go on Vistaprint and get my own again. It's fine.
Okay, good.
We're okay.
Well, I made you something anyway. It's a mug and it arrived the day after I left. So clearly we had like the same cool, fun ideas in our brains. I'm just gonna put it that way.
Is it a fucking lemon? I don't want it. What is it?
Well, it's lemon related. Let's just put it that way. It's like a cursed object now.
Shut up.
I've definitely
I
definitely had a few glasses of wine and then decided to create a fun collage out of some fun things and some fun quotes with Comic Sans. But you'll see it. Anyway, it's on a mug. So, okay, finally, speaking of mugs, this is the last thing. We are releasing Halloween merch this week, presumably.
This week, yeah.
That's the plan.
This has been something we've wanted to tell you guys for a while. A lot of people have been saying, when are we getting new merch?
God.
It's been...
it's a process. Merch is a process. A lot of processes.
A lot trickier of a road than you're probably aware of, because I had no idea until we started doing it.
Yeah.
But Kirk from work made them. So if you've liked our aesthetic in the past, you're going to love these. There's 5 shirts.
He's the one who made our logo too,
right?
and our tour. Yeah, I think, God, it's like, 5 designs or
5
something.
new shirts. We're also coming out with accessories. We've got coasters.
Wine glasses, I think, are back, or at least planning to be back.
We've got some good stuff in
when
the
we're
mix.
recording this, we don't have like the full details yet, so it might be like slightly off. But
follow us on socials.
Follow us on atwwdmerch.com is the website.
Yes.
And patrons, we're going to give you a discount code.
Yes.
So I'm really excited about that. And so we're going to send that out to all our patrons. So that's another thing.
Yes.
You get a discount code.
Whew, so much stuff to you.
There's a lot happening.
I'm sorry we didn't do like a drum roll or anything into the merch, but like we just wanted to like rip off the Band-Aid.
We knew we had to say it, and I was like, I'm so afraid we're going to forget to say it that I'm just going to
We've been telling them Halloween is the release date.
Yeah.
So,
or at least we said like,
it's
as
already
close as we can get to Halloween.
Yeah. So this week at least
Sometime.
expect some announcements from us.
Sometime soon. We'll yell it at you. So anyway, happy Halloween. We're excited. We have some stories.
Yes. Sorry for that long intro, but also you've been here for almost 200 episodes. It's Halloween. It's us.
What did you expect?
And Mercury's in retrograde.
I wish you would just sit down for a minute and stop getting angry.
Okay.
Have a cup of tea.
let me wet in my whistle, Christine, because
that's gross.
I'm so excited to tell you this story.
Mug?
I thought about using it, but I wanted to hand it to you, and so I didn't want to pour anything in it because then you'd be holding my tea. So
got it.
This holiday season, more people will be mailing stuff more than ever, and that means that the post office is going to be busy, and if you don't have time for that, Stamps.com brings the post office and now UPS shipping right to your computer.
You can mail and ship anything from the convenience of your home and office, which I do, might I add, because Stamps.com brings the services of the U.S. Postal Service and UPS right to your computer. It's a must-have for any business, whether you're a small office sending out invoices, an online seller fulfilling orders during this record-setting holiday season, or even a giant warehouse sending thousands of packages a day. Stamps.com can handle it all with ease. And I will say from my end, like I'll have a week where I don't really need to mail anything, and then all of a sudden I'll suddenly have like 6 things I need to mail out at once. Right. And so I just hop online. I don't need to like run to the post office, get in my car. It's getting cold already here in Cincinnati. So I'm like, I don't want to leave the house. And it's honestly very, very convenient.
Well, I live on the other side of the country for my family, and with everything going on in the world right now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it home for Christmas or anything like that. So I have been relying on shipping all of my gifts in advance in case I don't go. So this is just another great tool to have for when the holiday season's around. So
simply use your computer to print official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send it. And once your mail is ready, you can just schedule a pickup or drop it off. It is that simple.
Don't spend a minute of your holiday season at the post office this year. Sign up for Stamps.com instead. There's no risk. And with our promo code DRINK, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. And no long-term commitments or contracts either.
Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in DRINK.
That's Stamps.com, enter DRINK.
Stamps.com, never go to the post office again.
Christine, your boobs on Zoom are just as wonderful looking as they are in real life.
Well, I appreciate that, and I will tell you why, even though you already know, and I'm going to tell you again anyway. It's because I use Third Love exclusively now. Third Love bras, they use the measurements of millions of people to design bras with all-day comfort and support, and they start only at $45, so you can find your new favorite bra with high-quality, comfortable style starting at just $45. With more than 80 sizes, BTW. So, like, depending on if you are anything from a AA to an I, they even have half cups, which is just so handy. And they don't have like the tag that will scratch you. The straps don't slip. Listen, just trust me. It's good.
I can promise on my end from enough conversations with Christine that she really does wear Third Love all the time. And probably because one of the first steps is you have to take a quiz on Third Love. So you do their Fit Finder quiz. If you're not sure about your size, you take Third Love's online Fit Finder quiz. If you are Christine and you already know your size, you take it again every day just in case. And then after a few simple questions, you find your perfect fit in 60 seconds.
Yeah, so over 15 million people have taken the quiz to date, including me many times of those 15 million, as Em likes to say. And they stand behind their product. So if you don't love it, there is a 60-day return policy. Do not worry. Returns and exchanges are free and easy. And by the way, they give back. So Third Love actually donates all of their gently used return bras to women in need, supporting charities in their local San Francisco Bay Area and across the United States. And they've actually donated over $20 million in bras. So they're doing doing a great thing for the world.
Third Love knows there's a perfect bra for everyone. So right now they are offering our listeners 10% off your first order. Go to thirdlove.com/drink now to find your perfect fitting bra and get 10% off your first purchase.
That is thirdlove.com/drink for 10% off today.
I have not been more excited about a story for a while.
What? Really?
You're also going to get a kick out of this. I have had it in my back pocket for a while. And I decided Halloween was probably a very appropriate time. Otherwise, I think I would have waited several more months.
I have
What is it?
Is it Ouija boards?
Here we go.
Okay.
Close.
Okay.
Close in that it's of similar interest to you. More interest. I'd say it's more interesting to you. Yes.
Than a Lisa Frank Ouija board? Wow.
This is something very near and dear to your heart.
What? What is it?
Happy Halloween. This
Jesus,
is the story of Zak Bagans.
Shut the front door. Are you being serious right now?
Wait,
hold on. Woo, okay.
Here is the
You should have told me to put
biographical
my drink down before this happened. You're really testing like our limits here with like
Halloween.
Getting blocked and like technicality because
I'm just stating facts. I'm going to leave you for the op-eds.
Eva, call a lawyer now so we can just prepare for the inevitable.
I learned things.
Oh my God.
I think you're going to learn them too.
I'm okay.
Because
God, okay.
Listen, if you knew about certain things, you would have screamed about them for your entire life.
I don't think I know them. Tell me. Oh my God, I'm freaking out.
Okay, there's only one big thing that really I had not heard of, but it was very interesting to me. Okay. Let's do it.
This doesn't I keep checking if I'm in a lucid dream.
I honestly, so classic me, nothing's changed in 3 years. I did these notes at 3 a.m. So I also think I'm lucid dreaming right now.
So this is quite a retelling. I feel like Zak Bagans somewhere is like pulling his hair out like somebody's doing something bad.
He woke up today having weird vibes.
Yeah.
He's like, something's off, bro. Something's off.
Aaron, go find out what it is.
Well, you're right, Zach. Something is off. And it's me telling your story. So this is the story of Zachary Alexander Bagans.
Oh my gosh.
He was born.
Zab.
Mr. Zabby. He was born on April 5th, 1977 in Washington, D.C.
He would be a friggin' Aries.
He's an Aries.
That's like, but that makes sense. A tornado.
A whirlwind of
sorts. Whirlwind, Gemini tornado. Destructive as a whirlwind, yes.
And so he was born in Washington. I'm so excited to tell you the story.
I can't even breathe right now.
It's not very lengthy, but wow, the quality is there. Okay. And like, if you've ever wanted to know, we have answers.
Answers. There
you go. So on his museum's website.
Wait, he was born in D.C.?
He was born in D.C.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Okay.
I was like, all right. On his museum's website, he, quote, developed a profound interest in the paranormal when he was just 10 years old, scouring nearby garage sales with his mom in search of odd and spooky collectibles. Okay, so far I'm on the same page with Zach.
Yeah. I'm like, I love that for you.
I feel like this is like almost like, the Broadway Wicked, where it's like in the prequel, everything's great so far.
You're on board.
You're on board. And at some point we turn.
Some point you fall off the UFO and ZB just keeps going.
At some point the entire town thinks you're evil. And now you're the Wicked Witch of the West. Okay.
Fun.
So yes. So, and also I wanted to make a joke at one point where I was like, wow, he has his own autobiography on his website. What a loser. And then I was like, we'd have that.
I'm like pretty sure every website has that, but I just
wanted a reason to like jab at
I
him,
love the energy though. Like keep up with the energy though.
I came in hot with opinions and then I was like, I really need to like be realistic here and check my own shit.
Okay.
So like, I'll
do that part for you. No wonder. Em was like, you need to banter today with me about this because it's pretty short, but like, it's not going to be hard for you. And I was like, it never is, but like now I get why.
I said it with a confidence of 1,000 suns because I was like, I know you're going to have something to say. This is a quote from Zach about his childhood. Ever since I was little, I had these really weird experiences. This creature would visit me in my room as a little child.
Cool.
It's so vivid to me. I didn't understand what it was. I didn't know I could have these sorts of experiences. Okay.
Well, I mean, who does, right? Until they do, right?
Amen.
That's what I always say.
That's what I always say. So Zak was actually raised in Florida.
Okay, that makes a lot more. See, that's what I was picturing.
You know what?
It's making a lot of sense.
I'm not saying he's currently Florida man, but he left his energy there.
That's correct.
And that's what's causing all the Florida man stuff.
I'm not saying that he ships in bulk all his hair gel from Orlando, but like it's possible. And I'm not saying it.
I'm not saying he is best friends with Ed Hardy and that's why he owns all of his shirts. I'm just saying.
I'm fully saying that though.
Maybe is Ed Hardy. I'm not sure. What if at the end there was a twist where I was like, by the way.
What if Ed Hardy's a creature that visited him in his dreams or whatever? It's like, follow my aesthetic.
So he was raised in Florida and then his parents divorced and I guess it sounded like they split up and one moved to Illinois and that's the one he moved with. So he ended up going to Illinois.
Wow.
He graduated from Glenbard West High School. He was a class of 1995. And he moved to Michigan to go to Western Michigan University, but 8 months out of it, he dropped out to go study at a different school.
Okay.
So he went to the Motion Picture Institute
to
study filmmaking.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So far, again, like, okay, we're on the same
I'm a little scared
page.
that, like, I love this journey for you and me,
like
Zach.
I love that I'm hearing both of our journeys at once.
Yeah.
So in 2003, so remember he's in Michigan now.
Uh-huh.
In 2003, while living in Trenton, Michigan, Zak had what he considers his first paranormal encounter, which is interesting to me because his quote from childhood says that he had experiences.
Yeah.
But I think this is the one that he's referring to in the Ghost Adventures intro where he's like, I never believed until something came face to face with me. But also,
it's really scary,
you never
actually,
believed,
how
but
quickly
also
you know all the words. But yeah.
You said you didn't believe, but also this quote says that you always had experiences. So get it together,
So
guy.
explain that, buddy.
That's my first dig at you. Don't sue me.
It's a good one.
I would just like a correction. Okay. So this was his face-to-face experience, I suppose. The spirit was a woman who he later learned died by suicide in that apartment building.
Oh, good.
And he would see her in his apartment every night.
Oh, no.
Without fail.
No, thank you.
So every night at 3 a.m., of course, he was awoken by a woman calling out his name. And not even a week into this, he felt someone touching his back.
Oof.
And he felt paralyzed.
Oof.
I don't know if that's like figurative, like paralyzed in fear, or like
sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis. But he actually, this quote is from a Facebook Live that he did. He said, I couldn't move, so I flung onto my back. Wait a minute, you couldn't move, but you flung onto your back.
Wait, okay.
And I saw her standing at the corner of my bed. That changed everything. Which I want to be like, okay, it changed everything. You're being dramatic. But also it literally changed pivotally for his entire life because he became like
also,
Zak Bagans.
if I saw a lady at the edge of my bed, things would change, but not probably in a good way like it did for him.
Mentally, spiritually, emotionally,
goodbye.
I would never be the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so he, I guess it freaked him out so bad that even though he couldn't move, he got up and ran out into the parking lot.
Okay.
And later, I guess one of the maintenance men in his building, they were talking and somehow the story came up. And the woman that Zak described, the maintenance man was like, that woman literally just died a while ago at 3 a.m.
Oh, no.
So I think it was enough confirmation for him to be officially spooked.
Oh, my goodness.
So, and again, this is when he was in Michigan and he was in film school. So he graduated with honors and then he moved to Vegas to make documentaries. And he was obviously doing the side hustle thing. And so he had many side hustle jobs, but the one that everyone knows him for, do you know this? What he did?
I know he went on Wheel of Fortune. Is that it?
He was on Wheel of Fortune.
Is that his side hustle?
His side hustle was that he was a contestant on a game show.
That's something I would put on my resume trying to like fill it. Like one time I was working at a show.
When I say I was an intern at The Price is Right, I just mean I was a full-time contestant.
Yeah, you just kept trying to get on the show, right? No, I don't know. I don't think I know this.
So he was a wedding DJ.
I did know this.
Yes.
I did vaguely know this.
So he was
Sometimes people send me the YouTube like to his like soundtrack or his like album or whatever. It's really good.
Oh my goodness.
Just leave it
Okay,
at that.
well, let's leave it at that. So,
The DJ.
so he was a wedding DJ, and
Makes
I
sense.
think he actually was a wedding DJ when he went on that game
Oh.
show, because I remember when they gave him like, "Oh, tell us about yourself." He said something
He
about a wedding
did.
DJ.
I think he did. Yeah.
Also, that if you ever want to like look him up, he
Wow.
looks wildly
Barely
different
recognize him.
because he clearly hadn't learned all about Ed Hardy or lifting weights yet,
Right. Or like
or hair gel.
anything about his current persona, I guess.
It was the last real like image of pre bagel bites.
Yeah.
So yes, he was a wedding DJ, and one of the weddings he did was for a couple, and the groom's name was Nick Groff.
Shut up.
So that is how he
Are you for real?
met Nick.
I
Yes.
had no clue.
Apparently,
And now he's like the boss of Nick. This is a weird turn. Okay. Anyway.
let me spin some tracks and also go in the basement.
Wow.
So they, I guess, at the wedding started talking about ghosts somehow. How is the groom not preoccupied enough?
If Blaze were just like behind the, talking, I'd be like,
Talking
excuse
to the
me,
live band
your
about
grandma's
ghosts."
over here. Can you please?
Well, they made some sort of connection, I guess, and it was Kismet.
Love it for Kismet. Yeah.
And they decided like, oh, we should actually go on investigations and film it. And Zach was like, oh, I know a buddy. I'm assuming it was from film school. He was like, oh, I know a buddy who can like run a camera. His name's Aaron.
Oh, shut up. Are you serious?
Yep.
I didn't know they were all like this little Three Musketeer buddy group before.
They decided
makes sense.
They decided together. I think I'm gonna assume it was pretty quickly after they like became friends. Like they had this like common interest, which again is very weirdly
kind
us.
of what happened to us, right?
Because we didn't really know each other.
Isn't
We
it?
talked once about ghosts and decided we were going to start
On
a
a
show.
tractor of all things, also.
Not at a wedding, but like
Close.
Maybe like a
A rustic wedding
Yeah.
with Farmer
Anyway,
Bob.
this is still a little too much because it's too synonymous to what's happening with us.
Oh,
Don't worry, it shifts left real quick.
okay.
So they decided they wanted to, start filming. And once the Ghost Adventures crew was created, Zach decided that he was going to leave the DJ life, although he did not leave the music life.
Okay.
Which it sounds like this is something you already knew about. But this was the thing that blew my goddamn mind at 3 a.m.
I think that I have always kind of known, but I can't actually wrap my head around it. So,
Zak Bagans is a musician.
yikes. Okay. Yeah.
I assumed you didn't because had you known and I knew you knew, we would have been talking about
But
it
you
for
know how
years.
I do that thing where something will happen and I will just say
Block it
goodbye and I will never mention it again.
Well,
and
it
then
sounds like you must be like
I do
lucid
this a
dreaming
lot.
right now.
Yeah, I do this a lot. And then people are like, hey, what about that like giant thing? And I'm like,
Well, let me
what
confirm
giant
for
thing?
you.
Okay.
Zak Bagans
Oh my God.
is a musician. I'm going to leave a question mark at the end of that.
Just like make your voice go a little
He
higher.
makes music. Let's call it that.
Okay.
I also feel like I'm lucid dreaming. I can't confirm whether or not he's making music because it's not 10 out of 10.
It's an 11 out of 10. I got you. I feel it.
It's like not really music.
It's kind of like techno-y, right?
We're gonna do it.
Oh,
Okay, don't worry.
okay.
So basically they say he's done the vocals for a few music tracks that are mostly electronic.
Good. Good.
Although we're gonna talk about the music in a second, but I do want to say when I say he's a musician, I hesitate because it sounds like any song he has been a part of is just like really weird club music and someone like copy and pasted audio from Ghost Adventures onto the track. Like it's like clearly him during
There are
Spirit Box
things
sessions.
in this world we will never understand.
It's like he's clearly
I like it,
but it's not
actually.
even that. It's like he's clearly doing an EVP session and someone like literally just took his
What?
words right out of the episode. It doesn't sound like it's like quality. Like he's not shouting it into a mic for the song.
What?
It sounds like someone made like, on YouTube where there's those music videos that people make about like their 2 favorite characters in something and then they like take every clip possible of them and like play some really weird sappy music as like their own little compilation.
It's actually really frightening. Yeah.
It's like someone did that, but electronica and Zach audio only.
It does sound like something I would have done in high school, so I'm really glad that it wasn't me. Unless I did block it out and I really
Maybe this is all written by Christine.
Actually, this is a little frightening. It could have been me.
Christine, I can't see your feet, but let me take one guess. If I were to be clairvoyant in only this moment, I'm gonna guess you're in your Rothies.
Okay, listen, I wore mine. I mean, you're right. You're correct. First of all, let me answer your question. Second of all, I wear them to therapy. This is so random, but I wear them to therapy, and I have a pair
They're
that's
your
white.
security shoes.
And I have a pair that Blaze got me for my birthday, and they're white with like rainbow. They were like limited edition, like pride shoes.
I have seen them. They look great on you.
They are so, and so my therapist is always like, "Oh, I like your shoes," and I'm like, "Wow, I'm impressing my therapist with my cool Rothies." And then I tell her immediately that they are machine washable. And I was also at a wedding recently, and someone was like, "Are those?" Literally, the bride BTW was like, "Oh, like are those Rothies that you're wearing?" And I was like, "Yes." And she goes, "Are they machine washable?" And I was like, plus, and then I told them a bunch of fun facts. Anyway,
they're made of water bottles and all that too. Well, actually, because we have talked about Rothies so much, my own friends have now been texting me being like, "So are Rothies really that great?"
Yes.
And I've said, "Yes, you've got to buy them." And so now almost everyone I know has at least one pair of Rothies.
We're starting a Rothi-lution. No, I'll work on it. But we're starting something, and I think it's good.
So here's the deal. Rothies come in an ever-changing array of colors, prints, and patterns, and they're available in a range of styles. Rothies shoes are seamlessly knit with thread made from plastic water bottles, as you were saying. And so they're ultra comfortable as soon as you slip them on, and there's zero break-in period.
It's true. They're easy to pack. They're easy to wash. I travel with them to LA, and I travel with them to therapy. Very, very handy in all situations. Rothies also makes shoes and bags. They make bags now out of recycled plastic water bottles as well, and they have transformed over 65 million water bottles into beautiful products.
Check out all the amazing shoes and bags available right now at rothys.com/drink.
That's rothys.com, rothys.com/drink.
Style and sustainability meet to create your new favorites. Head to rothys.com/drink today. So he has collaborated. So the way we have confirmation that he's chosen to do this himself, and this isn't Christine in the middle of the night.
Okay, thank God.
Is because he has worked with other musicians where apparently all their music kind of sounds this way.
Got it.
He's worked with a band called Lords of Acid.
Oh, good.
Sounds exactly like something that he would do.
Oh, my.
And another one called Praga Khan.
Whoa.
Where he was credited as a featured artist, a primary artist, and the vocals.
An artiste.
Although realistically, like it's like just giving him credit for the audio that you're using if it were a weird compilation video. Like, oh, well, he's the vocals because I took his audio.
Well,
you know?
I mean,
whatever.
It is what it is.
You can Google this yourself and you know, you have your own opinion of it. But apparently he himself has an album. I checked on Spotify. It is not there, but it is on YouTube.
Yes.
It is called Necrofusion.
Cool.
And it was released in 2012. The songs include...
That's too recent for my comfort level. I'm just going to put that out there.
Here are two of my favorite songs because I Googled Zak Bagans music and on YouTube, all of a sudden it just said Necromance. And I saw all of the videos. My two favorites on title alone are In My Dungeon, which is the most Zak Bagans thing I've ever heard.
Oh my God, I'm so glad I wasn't drinking a beverage at that very moment.
And I'm very jealous he snabbed this from us because like we could have used this in some jokey way. Immortal Portal.
Well, hey, that's good.
That sounds good.
That's some good stuff.
If he pitched that song first, I would have been like, I'll give that a listen.
Hell yeah.
Well, so here's another song called Paranormal Energy by Lords of Acid featuring Zak Bagans.
Oh my God.
And here are some of the lyrics.
Oh, good. I'm not mentally and psychically and spiritually prepared for this.
No one is.
Yeah.
And by some of the lyrics, I think I mean almost all of them. And also tell me if these are lyrics or like his resume. I want to prove that ghosts exist. I fully understand the risks. Taunting spirits from the shadow world, getting physically attacked, bloody scratches on my back, getting followed constantly by evil ghosts we cannot see, knowing they are entities, captured on our DVDs, different types of EVPs, strange kinetic energy. Hell yeah, they're extreme. They are fearless. They are mean. They hunt, investigate, haunted places state by state. It's tough, so full of risk. They want to prove that ghosts exist. On a guest to prove they're right.
Quest, maybe?
Oh, yeah, it's just spelled wrong. On a quest to prove they're right, they deserve to win their fight.
Why am I correcting?
Hell yeah, they're extreme.
Why am I correcting you reading? I don't like that.
I'm going to assume guest was literally their actual lyrics.
Wow.
But it literally sounded like a resume. It was just like in like... It was like an English class.
It sounded like my 8th grade diary.
It was like you got assigned to talk about yourself in limericks for a second.
And what rhymes with
what
quest?
rhymes with risk exist?
Yeah, close. Uh-huh.
Imagine if we wrote a song. It just, if we wrote a song and it was just like, I like milkshakes, I like milkshakes, I like milkshakes.
I like wine, and then put pony underneath it.
There's a ghost. That's the whole song.
Actually, TM. I actually like that.
Someone take all of that audio, put it on YouTube, give us an album, and feature us as the vocals.
Immortal Portal 2.
Immortal 2.0.
2, because then we can't get sued? Question mark?
No, I don't think so. Or we could just change up like our portal is immortal or something. The portal is immortal. So
yeah,
we could
we'll just steal it in a different way.
We'll just do like the Dollar Tree version of it.
The discount, the
where
bargain.
It's like instead of Cheerios, it's like Happy-O's.
Bargain bin.
So, okay. Anyway, so that's some real quote music if you'd like to go listen to it.
Wow. I would.
In 2004, just getting back on track if there was one to start with, the Ghost Adventures crew started officially filming Ghost Adventures. So this was in the midst of him also becoming an up-and-coming musician.
16 years ago.
Wow.
That's
There's 20 seasons of Ghost Adventures right now.
Holy crap. They've been doing this a long time.
And like, we're making fun of you, Zach, if you're listening. You're not. But we are making fun of you. But it's about to... We're going to turn it around, too, in a second. Well, I'll read...
I don't have a 20-season TV show. I have no room to make fun.
We'll as we get further into this, we're going to have a lot of positive things to say about you, so be ready.
To be clear, I don't have a 1-season TV show. I don't have a 20-season TV show.
If we're going by years, we have a 3-season podcast, but also we decided day 1 to not do seasons. So really, we're still on our first season, and we'll end on our first season.
Yep.
So in 2004, the Ghost Adventures crew started filming. Originally, it was going to just be a film, like one movie. Oh. And then 2 years later, a production company called For Real produced it as a documentary.
Oh.
And it came out in 2007. So they made it 3 years before. And it came out in 2007. It aired on the Sci-Fi Network, or as my dad lovingly calls it, the Sci-Fi Channel. And it had such crazy rave reviews that they were like, oh shit, like maybe people...
Wow.
And I want to say something. This is just a random piece of trivia that I know. Like I didn't research it for this, but I just happen to know that before 2007, we have to, I would say, give Zak Bagans the credit for like haunted tourism because
true.
Because before 2007, it was not common for you to go to like a metropolitan area and have like a ghost tour available.
Right.
It all started popping up in 2007, and so
he really
arguably people freaked out because this might have also been like the first real like investigative production that people had seen. And then cities kind of started making it an attraction as well when they realized people liked haunted stuff. So here's my hat to you, Zach. I think you created literally a whole brand of tourism.
He's like, I know.
He's like, yeah, I already knew that.
That's the point.
Thanks for your weird condescending comment. So actually the documentary also got the grand jury prize at the New York International Independent Film and Video Festival.
Oh.
And on October 17th, 2008, so only a year later, Ghost Adventures had its own series on Travel Channel starring Zach, Aaron, and Nick until season 10. And then Nick left and Billy and Jay joined. And I tried to find like the beef, if there was any, because I was like, if I'm going to do a story on Zach, I need to know
the hot goss.
I need to know the girls are fighting, as they say on TikTok. So, but I couldn't find it. They've done a really good job of covering that up. If there was beef, maybe it was all just like a graceful bow out. I'm not really sure what happened. But if you have watched Paranormal Lockdown, Nick Groff is the star of that show, so he's doing fine. Also, this is where I bring up one of our biggest concerns with the show, is that Ghost Adventures often gets criticism for being aggressive or taunting the spirits. I would like to take this moment for Zach to speak for himself. And in 2009, in an interview with Paranormal Underground magazine, he said, I don't want the public perceiving us as the taunting, provocative ghost hunters.
He's here.
We do that only to the bad spirits who we know are attacking the living.
Okay.
It's like, okay. But also, like, let's refer back to your song, Mr. Musician.
It sounds like we're in like the worst courtroom ever. Hang on.
Let me refer back to Exhibit A of Paranormal Energy by Lords of Acid. The first line is, I want to prove that ghosts exist. I fully understand the risks taunting spirits from the shadow world. Okay. But also you couldn't move while you ran to the parking lot. So whatever.
It's all unclear.
Here's a fun fact about the Winchester Mystery House. I know it sounds like we're going in a million directions, but I don't care.
I certainly don't either.
Well, this came from originally. I was talking about Ghost Adventures and that he taunts the ghost, but then doesn't taunt the ghosts. And then there was a few episodes, like highlights I wanted to mention, but really the only one I want to focus on is Winchester Mystery House, just because it was our first episode that we covered. And I'm selfish. So here's a fun fact that involves Zak and the Winchester Mystery House. So that he investigated that house in season 5, and this was the only building where he stopped the investigation, like cold turkey.
Wait, for real?
I think afterwards he might have, but this was the first time he ever halted an investigation. And it was because out of nowhere, he got this like extreme, overwhelming sense of grief.
Oh no.
And he was so shaken. He was like, I can't be here.
Oh, that's horrible.
And then he found out that at exact same moment, his grandmother passed.
Oh, oh no.
Yep. And now our hearts are growing 3 sizes too big for Zak. That was very sad to read. So it's interesting paranormally in that like, it's confirming that like something spooky was going on. But also, fun fact, has to do with the Winchester house. Also a moment of sympathizing with Zak. Yeah. So it's a very weird...
Man, he's powerful, this man.
I'm on an emotional roller coaster right
same.
now. So getting away from Ghost Adventures, in 2017, let's bring it to a little more recently, Zak Bagans opened Zak Bagans, the Haunted Museum, which I always thought was like...
Yeah, he did.
Why do you have to throw your first name on it? And like...
Why not?
It's not even like Is it? Maybe it is. I'm just not reading it right. Zak Bagans and the apostrophe.
I think it is Zak Bagans.
Okay. Because I was going to be like, did you just... It's like saying like M. Schultz ice cream parlor. It's like not M. Schultz's.
But why not? I mean...
You know what? He's got enough money. He can do whatever he wants.
It's also, working. Whatever he's doing is working, to be
our
fair.
asses went there. So like, who am I?
Yeah.
So he opened the Haunted Museum, which features a wild amount of haunted items. Pretty much anything under the sun that is haunted. I assume at some point Zak's estate will purchase.
Yeah.
And he will one day just collectively own every haunted item.
It's really becoming like a very scary like portal.
It is.
Immortal portal, if you will.
Again, this is where we say nice things about Zak, because that was the most fun museum I've ever been to.
It was wild.
And talk about like being like the top of the industry. Like there's no one that can compete with you. Like if you're Zak, I don't know how he gave himself a name where like there is no competition. And if anyone tries, people will be like, well, there's Zak Bagans already, so why are you trying? Like when it comes to like a haunted museum, it's like, okay, you could have like local tchotchkes maybe, but like if
nobody's going to buy him out. Yeah, who's going to buy him out?
He has bought, so when I say that, I'm saying like he has literally bought other buildings to put inside of his building.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about.
Bought up neighboring buildings.
He bought a neighboring house. He's literally bought other property and then demolished it and then brought it in and rebuilt the homes inside of this museum.
It's wild.
So the haunted house is now inside of his house.
Yeah, it's really wild.
It's insane. This place has everything. It has PTD. So shout out to episode 79.
Whose name will not be mentioned.
The doll that we won't talk about. Mm-hmm. Which also, if we won't talk about it on a podcast far away, but he literally sees it every day at work. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Hats off.
I'm going to either you're dumb, brave, or both. I'm not sure. I'm just going to say brave because I couldn't fucking do it. There's also like, he bought like Jack Kevorkian's van. Like he has everything you can imagine. If he doesn't have it yet, he will at some point. I'm convinced he will buy the Ed and Lorraine's occult museum. They had the first one.
But wasn't there a whole thing that people keep messaging us? Like they said the one thing they won't do is their estate will never go to him.
It's so like touching. I don't know what the like right
That's like
information
at least I remember because we mentioned once, I bet Zak will buy that. And all these people were like, no, he can't because like they won't let him or like.
That was probably the last thing they put in their will.
The only thing in their will.
But I know Lorraine Warren knew Zak pretty well. Like
maybe.
They had done stuff together in the past.
I could be wrong, or the DMs could be wrong. I'm not going to blame you all, but maybe I should.
I don't know. All I know is like it's. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens, whether or not they're saying it could happen.
You're right.
At the very least, he'll like, I won't buy the house, but I'll just buy everything piece by piece in there or something.
Right.
So. So the museum is one of the most recommended tourist attractions. It's voted in USA Today as the #1 best haunted destination. Can confirm. I would recommend it to literally anybody. Great. I would even argue like just go to Vegas just for that.
Yeah, it was next level.
And then like hop on over 5 minutes away and you've got the Marvel Museum.
And it's true crime too, right? Well, and it's true crime too because he has like,
Yeah.
Manson artwork,
he's
John
got some,
Wayne Gacy artwork. Like,
he also has some. If you go, you should also be prepared to like true crime because there are some really
heavy.
dark.
It's really heavy.
It was like fun and games for a minute, and then like you go into another room and you're like, oh shit. And I think they do that on purpose for people to take the museum seriously.
Yeah,
but it worked. So
it worked. Oh, you know what? I just remembered who owns Annabelle.
The Warrens.
Oh, it was the Warrens. Okay, then I don't know what never mind.
He has
Or
to
was
own
it Harold?
Annabelle.
Oh, it was Harold maybe that we said, oh, I bet Zach will buy him. And then someone was like, that guy won't.
The guy refused.
That's what it is. Sorry.
So the owner of Harold the
mind.
Doll is, oh, by the way, he prefers caretaker.
Sorry.
He's Harold's caretaker.
Best friend. I don't know.
I only know that because he has tweeted us directly. So
Ooh, that's right. Yeah. I think he doesn't want to. That's what it was.
yeah, he's like, no, Harold's mine.
Right. Don't blame you.
And so other than Ghost Adventures, Zach has gone on to produce, direct, write, and or star in other shows, including Paranormal Challenge, Paranormal Paparazzi, Ghost Adventures Aftershocks, Deadly Possessions, Ghost Adventures Graveyard of the Pacific, Ghost Adventures Serial Killer Spirits, Demon House, Ghost Adventures Screaming Room, Help My House is Haunted, Destination Fear, and Ghost Adventures Quarantine. And we're going to talk about a few of those. But I want to do my we're going to talk about my personal top 3.
Okay.
So I love Deadly Possessions. I think it's such a great show.
Oh, that's the one where he talks about like the actual items, right?
It's basically like the best PR for his museum.
It's like Antiques Roadshow, but like
it's literally 10. Every episode is just a different item from his own museum, and they film it in his museum.
Right.
We actually saw the set in the museum. We walked past it and they're like, oh, and that's where they filmed Deadly Possessions. And like the cameras, the lights were all set up. But yeah, I mean, this man is just all too powerful. But and for those wondering, like, why does he have so many like failed shows? They're not failed shows. They're all miniseries. So he decides,
like branches, sort of.
Yeah, he's kind of, again, like us in that way where he's like, I have this really incredible project that I'm going to get bored of in 3 months. So let's just call it a miniseries.
Oh, I was like, how is this like us? I have an incredible project doesn't sound familiar at all, but the boredom does.
But no, I like doing something like with all your might and then being like, okay, next thing.
Well, I love that because it's like a core. Yeah. Like, yeah, I like that.
So that's kind of what these are. They're like, he picks 4 or 5 episodes to do on it and then he never touches it again. And so that's Deadly Possessions. There's only 1 season of that, and it's really good. On it, he has discussed PTD. Again, episode 79. I'm only telling the ones that we've also covered for like our own bare minimum promo to a show that you're already listening on. But he also covered Ed Gein's Cauldron and Bela Lugosi's Mirror, which were both in episode 85 of ours. He covered the Dybbuk Box, which we did in episode 11, and he covered Robert the Doll, which is in episode 6.
Thank you for writing all that down.
Yes. The second one I want to talk about is Demon House. This was a production he did in 2018. It's a documentary on Amazon Prime. And it was made by the Ghost Adventures crew. And their caption is "View at your own risk."
Oh, great.
And we actually have from the Zak Bagans Haunted Museum an autographed Demon House movie poster.
Yes.
Framed in our apartment.
Yes, it is. That's probably why we're cursed, but it is hanging in our apartment, signed. It's beautiful.
If Demon House sounds familiar to you, it's also known as the House of 200 Demons. That is also a...
is that the one in Gary, Indiana?
Yes.
Okay.
And we have covered that. That's episode 58 of ours.
I want to go listen to that. I'm like...
the episode is titled wiccahow.com instead of wikihow. wiccahow.com and the Return of Rice Pudding 9.
Oh no.
So
never mind. I don't want to listen to that.
So Demon House, he did a documentary on him investigating this house, I think while it was still haunted. And it was an exorcism case of a family in Indiana. And all I know, I haven't watched it yet. I actually would like to later do a two-parter on this.
Cool.
And cover that documentary. Because I have covered the Amon's family case in episode 58, but I haven't seen the movie Demon House. But all I know about it are 2 things. One, apparently in this investigation, a spirit or something got so angry at Zach that it threw something at him and hit him in the head. And ever since then, that's why he now needs to wear glasses, because he's like he has like some terrible vision issues now. And he's never recovered from it.
Vision. I thought you meant just to protect his head.
No, he like got hit in the head and like his like eyes got fucked up. So like now he always wears glasses.
What?
And that was what they told us that on the tour. So that's how I remember that.
True? Okay.
I don't know. I heard it on the tour. So there's that. And then the second thing is that the demon house is the one where they demolished it and they brought it into his museum. And one of the exhibits we got to go into is they tell you in advance. They're like, this one, we're warning you, if you don't want to accidentally pass out or something, do not go in this room.
I know some of you do want to accidentally pass out.
Like, if you're not willing to take that risk, do not go in this space, because they literally took the property and moved it into a section of the mansion. And then they open up a door and all of a sudden you're literally in a basement.
It's freaky.
They took the rubble, the dirt, all the original wood posts of like the cellar where I guess the exorcism happened. And so you're standing on the ground and the dirt and the rubble of an exorcism. Is that the one they wouldn't
let us go in?
I think they
roped it off and said, like, actually, we are not allowing people at this time because people keep getting injured.
Something like that, yeah. I remember we were allowed to peek in, and I remember I just looked at the ground, and I had the worst feeling.
And, like, Em and I were, like, ready to go see anything, and
we went into a room closed off from everyone else and stood alone with PTD and looked from the fucking eyes. And we're like,
let's chat. Yeah. But, yeah, this one, I think maybe we would have been like,
yeah,
we'll just look at it from here.
I felt really uncomfortable. So if you would like to feel uncomfortable too, you could do that there. And then the third show I wanted to talk about is the one where we're really going to sing his praises, because
oh my gosh,
we've said this maybe on the show before, but like during this season of life when COVID hit, Zak Bagans decided that him and his Ghost Adventures team, when originally we were all supposed to quarantine for only 2 weeks,
LOL.
They decided, okay, well, we have to shut down the museum, but how about instead of quarantining at home, all of us decide that we're going to isolate ourselves together and we're going to live in the museum for all 2 weeks, and we're going to have cameras running the entire time and do a 2-week long, like 24 hours a day investigation on this museum, just the four of us.
If nothing else, he's a business genius, truly.
Like, it is the smartest
jumped on it right away.
The smartest move I've ever heard of. And so like he didn't have any... It was just them filming. It was them editing it on the fly. It was them.
So it's very like raw.
It was really good. So it's called Ghost Adventures Quarantine. It was a 4-part miniseries. I've still only seen the first 2 episodes with you.
And I keep watching like the first 2.
They rocked me to my core. They were actually so scary.
I'm actually very afraid to watch the last 2 by myself. I think that I'm going to wait to be
Christina
with you.
and I held each other.
We were literally on that air mattress I was telling you about. We were on that air mattress like, okay, this is not funny anymore. Like, this is really frightening.
For all the bullshit that we say to you, Zach, like I take it all back. After I saw Quarantine, I was like, you know what, this guy's on
bow down. I was really freaked. Like I was freaked out.
I like to think he's kind of like just another Paris Hilton. Where have you seen her like recent interviews?
I've seen she did like a little
she did some interview recently where she basically came clean and was like, that entire persona you knew about me was totally wrong. In the interview, her voice sounds completely different. She was like,
no.
The producers told me to make up a voice. They told me to
play this character,
act kind of like ditzy. And so she like just made it so clear, like I knew what I was doing the entire time. I'm actually a bad business bitch. And like I'm pretty sure Zak Bagans is the same.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he
knows what he's doing.
He knows he has a museum that you can't even begin to try to compete with it.
No.
He saw an opportunity with a closed, shut off, most haunted attraction in the world to himself.
Yeah.
And it's really good. So
he plays into that character. Yeah, he gets made fun of, and he plays.
Him
it
and
anyway.
Paris must text each other all the time, like, "Oh my god."
I mean, he's literally dating like Holly Madison, right? Idea. So like,
literally,
they could probably be pals. I feel like they run in probably those 2000s A-lister circles.
Exactly.
I don't know.
So recently, this is the most up-to-date information I have beyond my favorite fun fact, which was in 2017, or no, not in 2017, 2013. He blocked you on Twitter.
Why was I not expecting that? That just
all we know about that.
We're gonna go there.
All we know about that that I'm privy to say is that Christine texted him a few times. I think maybe margaritas were involved.
Tweeted. I didn't text.
Tweeted.
I wish
Sorry.
I tried. I certainly tried.
Tweeted him. And I don't know what the content was or anything. None of us need to know. All that was said was what was said. And the next morning, Zach blocked her.
Yeah, it was actually that night because
I
was
immediately
tweeting and suddenly it said, you may no longer tweet this person. And I went, what does that mean? And Twitter was fairly new to me. And so I was like with my friend Celine and I was like, it won't let me tweet him anymore. And she was like, why?
Well, in the words of Zak Bagans with his very first face-to-face experience, it changed everything because he didn't realize in 2013 he was catapulting himself into 2020 where we talked about
I didn't realize it either, and here we are.
But so that happened.
And then we got blocked in 2020, copyright blocked from our own live stream. So
yeah, that's true.
He continues to make our lives difficult.
Well, here is the most recent stuff. He was actually recently trying to investigate Joe Exotic's famous zoo.
Yeah, everyone keeps tweeting that at us.
Oklahoma. And because apparently it's very haunted, not including all the other suspicions that are going on with Joe Exotic.
Yep.
Joe has said apparently multiple times that people love the zoo so much that they would bring their family members who had passed and they would spread their ashes at the zoo.
Wow, what a weird thing to do.
Therefore, a lot of bodies and energy is there, and therefore it's incredibly haunted. And Zach smelts out a weird PR op.
Yeah, he's very timely with his
He's like,
activities.
Let's collaborate.
Yeah.
Let's do like a little crossover situation. So he was recently filming at the zoo, and then filming got shut down in the middle because I guess there was a police investigation that surfaced because dogs started smelling out decay and smelled human remains. So they had to stop their own paranormal investigation for it to become a crime scene, which again is so on the nose.
This is just, it's like he's creating his own reality at this point.
It's like we're just like vicariously living through him, but then also kind of literally living the same. It's like we make fun of him because he's so much like us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
But like also so much more successful and famous and
he's what we want to be and we hate ourselves. I don't know what's happening here. But so he apparently it became a crime scene and so they ended up halting the paranormal investigation. But he did tell the Las Vegas Review-Journal that he found unique artifacts at the zoo, which he plans to display at the museum, which doesn't sound right if it's an active crime scene.
I just took these, put them in my pocket. Don't worry about it.
His exact quote were, some of these artifacts are personal effects that used to belong to Joe Exotic and his husband, Travis.
Yeah.
So that's the update on where he is filming wise. But if that's not enough for you, he has written 3 books. So get ready for your eyes to do a little dancing.
The covers are excellent graphic design work.
They look exactly like his necrofusion album.
I was about to say about as good as the album.
The books are called Dark World, Into the Shadows, I Am Haunted, Living Life Through the Dead, and Ghost Hunting for Dummies, which we own.
Yes. Oh my God.
And
our apartment is.
I like it.
It's like kind of a shrine in some ways, I think.
It is
actually kind of upsetting.
I really like Ghost Hunting for Dummies, although I have seen that I've seen a few videos where people prove that a lot of it was like just straight up copy and pasted from other.
Oh, that's not cool.
I don't know if it was like Zach had already written about it and then just used his own words and put it right back into a different book
the cover,
or something.
You buy it for the cover alone. It's excellent
stuff. I'm still going to say you should buy it.
Yeah.
So, also, like, just a side note, in case you're like living under a rock, there is some really delightful merchandise of Zak Bagans. So if you need a real, I guess, dopamine rush, serotonin rush, something like that, the waltz all over to Etsy or Redbubble or
I see.
Uncommon
Like in
Goods.
general, just like not his merch, but like
no, like other people's merch. You can find Zak Bagans on some really great stuff.
Mm-hmm. Including a watercolor above my bed in my new apartment.
That one is from Redbubble. And on Etsy, we found a mug that says, "Think this coffee strong? Have it come fight me in the dark."
Oh, God.
That was made by Fugly Barbie, just to give you a shout out.
Good.
And
good stuff.
There's a pot holder by Pixel Loot. That says, "There are things in this kitchen that we will never fully understand. We want answers."
That's good.
But so those are just 2, but there's also some really like just delicious art that people have created. So please go check that out.
I have the blanket that you gave me. I have with his face all over it.
There's a Zak Bagans blanket for you to sleep in.
This is actually troubling now that I'm saying it all out loud.
We also have shirts with Zak Bagans' name all over them.
That's true, yeah.
So though Zak doesn't consider himself a psychic medium, he does consider himself a sensitive. Fun fact, he is dating Holly Madison. And also there's a conspiracy, apparently, that he has a daughter that we don't know about.
What?
Her name is either Melissa or Missy.
What?
Or some people, I don't know why. I tried clicking the website and it like went to like a spam link that doesn't like really exist anymore, but you can still see kind of like the first line of it on Google search. And apparently there's a story out there that he has a daughter named Alexis Michigan Nevada Bagans.
What?
Which
People are like, what states has he lived in?
So Michigan was where he had his first ghost experience, and Nevada is where he lives now.
Yeah.
So Nevada.
Yeah. I only know this because people like to tweet it.
But so apparently that's a little piece of information. I've looked high and low for more information. I don't think it's true, but it was just something for you to go search in the deep web now. And although he's not afraid of ghosts, I'll end on this. He has, throughout his career, made very clear to us the things he is afraid of, which are heights, snakes, dolls, wax figures, and clowns.
Wow.
And that is the story of Zachary Alexander Bagans.
This is the best day of my life.
Anyway, I'm sorry that was so long, which is shocking because it was not long, but we just had a lot to cover.
That was my fault, I think.
We had a lot to discuss.
Wow, this is the best day of my life.
Happy Halloween.
This is the best Halloween ever. I'm like, you just really brightened my soul.
I do what I can.
Yeah, that was excellent. Also, I was going to say, I found, somebody showed me this yesterday on Twitter. There's a Reddit conspiracy thread in our subreddit called like general discussion why Christine isn't verified on social media. And of course,
is it Zach?
The top answer is like, I bet Zach has some sort of like hand in play.
If that's the conspiracy theory that we're running with, let's run with it.
I guess, right? So I'm like, and that was the top voted answer, and I was like, or upvoted, and I don't know. Why
are you looking at us on Reddit?
No, they like tagged me in it and said
we made a promise.
Oh,
to each
I don't
other.
look through the Reddit. I scrolled down to the top comment and went going no further because I was afraid it's gonna be like she's too ugly for Twitter or some stupid shit. And I was like, I don't want to read this, but I did see the top comment was that Zak Bagans was involved in social media, has his hand in, which I'm like, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised.
Mob. I think he's like his own mob.
Yeah, he's like his own mob.
He's got his own hand in everything.
It seems like that actually, as much as it's a joke, like might actually be true because, again, Twitter and Instagram seem to both not want to let me,
He's probably said like, look, I've had to block her a million times already.
He's probably
so
like,
can we
what if he just has a list of people he's blocked and he's like,
here. I wonder if I'll ever get blocked by Zach. I'm waiting for the day.
Well, it took a lot. I will tell you, it took a lot of margaritas and it took a lot of brazen energy. I had like 4 followers, so it didn't matter what I was tweeting. And before you go looking, they're all gone.
I would love to know his thought process because so many people have stories about getting blocked by him, but like he doesn't know them. Like, how is he just randomly blocking?
I think he's just one of those people, like the second something like negative, just blocked
Maybe.
them.
I don't know. It's wild.
I mean, listen, mine weren't negative, by the way. I was just like very interested in. Some people have propagated this idea that I was on there like bullying him. I was not bullying him. I was just probably being a pest. I was like, I had just seen Robert the Doll for the first time in Key West. I was in Key West, Florida, and we were watching his TV show, and I was like, I need to find him on the internet. And I was like, cool, Twitter, I'll talk to him there. And he was like, no, you won't. And that was that.
Well, also,
I'm over it, though.
That's
the fun fact is that I'm over it.
My favorite closest personal story we have is that at a meet and greet, we did meet someone who says that she has indeed slept with Zak Bagans.
Yeah, and that sent me in a turbulent like headspace.
I don't remember your name, but if it was you, please DM us.
And also,
I have questions.
We've already told them to DM us like 3 times, so I'm sure it's in there somewhere.
It's probably in there, but so that happens. And in one of the stories, I forget what episode it was because I'm saying this on the fly and I didn't look up the episode, but we covered I think it was called the McRaven Mansion or something. Yeah,
that sounds
And I think their name was Jay.
Yes.
Who worked there. Jay was in the episode as one of the staff who was helping
Yes.
Who was helping the Ghost
Like
Adventures
I was
crew.
involved in when they were
Jay
filming.
listens to this show, or at least did that back then, and DM'd us and was like, "Oh my gosh, I can tell you all about what Zach was like behind the scenes." So like
Yeah.
we've got our hand in things too,
Yeah,
ZB.
Zach.
Okay? So
Jeez.
anyway, that's that.
And if you see our live show when we go back on tour,
We also
he's-
mentioned Zach because why not?
because he inserted himself. Let's just put it that way.
Buy our tour
No
tickets whenever
spoilers.
they come out. We actually bring Zach Bagans on stage. We're all friends.
Surprise.
This is a total ruse.
Oh my God.
Also, if you went to our show, please don't ruin it and tweet what
please
we're
don't
talking
spoiler.
about. You guys have, by the way, I know you're about to tell your story. I'm sorry. But
No,
I
you're
do
fine.
want to take a second while we're on this topic and thank all of the people who have come to our tour. You have been so loyal about keeping things under wraps
Yeah.
because before we made that promise where we wouldn't look at Reddit anymore.
Yep.
I had seen people going on Reddit trying to like figure out like what goes on at our show, and every comment was like, "I went, but they said they don't want us talking about
Yeah,
it."
people are not happy about that.
and we're not going to say, but we promise it's really good and
Because
it's
people
worth
were
going.
like, I bet they're just doing the same story over and over because they're lazy or something. And then people
We
were
did
like,
not. And we worked
certainly
so
didn't.
fucking hard on
and
the
people
show.
were like, trust me, they didn't, but I'm not allowed to tell you what they did.
It's been so nice to see so many loyal people out there keeping
really
keeping the
nice.
mystere. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
and we'll show it to you soon.
We will be back with the same show. So
I can't wait. Anyway, I also have a Halloween story for you. This is the story. I don't know. I guess that was a Halloween story.
Yes.
It was like my ultimate Halloween story.
it was what you needed.
Yeah, it was what I needed this sad season of 2020. I have a story called The Halloween Candyman.
Oh, is the Candyman a serial killer?
Spooky. He's a killer.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Isn't Candyman also a horror movie?
Probably, yes. It sounds like it.
Huh.
There's 2 Candyman murderers, BTW.
Oh.
There's this guy and then another guy who I think was a serial killer. I'm not covering that guy right now. The
Okay.
Candyman Dean Coral is a separate killer. This is not that. This is a different Halloween day.
This one's more fun.
This one's specifically seasonal.
This one's festive. Okay, got it.
This one is 1974, Deer Park, Pasadena, Texas.
Okay.
Thursday night, Halloween, 1974. Children are out trick-or-treating, imagining what 1974 might look like as in terms of, candy. I have a couple fun facts here.
Can I guess?
Yes.
Can I
Okay, so
guess?
guess what were the big candies
Okay,
available in the 70s?
Okay, in the 70s. Snickers?
Yes.
And
Wow, Snickers were created in 1930. I wrote the names or the dates. Okay, also, I'm just going to do one spoiler. Candy corn apparently was invented in the 1880s.
Yikes. No
So-
wonder it's because it's made of
No
candles.
wonder it's
Yeah.
disgusting. We're going to get like probably the most hate we've ever gotten for that statement.
I am not on team candy corn.
No,
I'm
me neither.
sorry.
Me neither.
Okay, Snickers and Reese's Pieces.
Yes, or Reese's, yeah.
Okay. Oh no, E.T. was in the 80s, not in the 70s, right?
Yeah, true. But Reese's, yeah.
And then M&M's.
Not M&M's, I don't think, but at least the big ones, Starburst, apparently were 1960. Swedish
Starburst, is that
Fish.
old?
Swedish Fish and Lemon Heads, which makes sense.
Lemon heads I get.
And Sweet
You're a
Tarts.
fucking lemon head.
I'm a literal lemon entire
You're
body.
not even, you're just a lemon body
I've
right
just
now.
like taken over the whole, it's taken over my whole being. So that year also Bubble Yum came out. And it had that like punk duck on it with a nose piercing.
Still does.
Yeah.
Coolest thing I've ever seen.
It's fun. So that was the most popular candy the following year, 1975, which is weird because I just feel like gum is. I
Gum
didn't
is gum.
expect that to be the most popular candy, but
Yeah. Halloween was, here's some Trident. Happy Halloween.
it's winter fresh. Okay. Also, according to Reader's Digest, there were, quote, persistent false rumors that Bubble Yum was soft because it contained spider eggs. And that was a rumor. And then the company had to spend over $100,000 to try and fight that.
Well, I think they probably spent their money
Slander.
and shoved the conspiracy onto something else because growing up, my favorite gum was the strawberry Bubblicious.
Oh,
And I heard that story my whole
I
life
think that
too.
just became like a widespread rumor. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They
Gotcha.
probably just put it on any gum candy that people enjoyed.
I wish I didn't have adult teeth. Like, and by
Ew.
adult teeth, I
I
mean
don't wanna
like
know what you mean.
nerve wise, because it like now like if it's too sugary, I can't chew it.
Oh,
But Bubblicious, strawberry
that
Bubblicious,
stuff was.
I to this day I'm like drooling a little bit thinking about it. It was so fucking good.
That stuff was excellent.
So good.
And full of spider eggs. Just kidding.
That's why I'm drooling.
That's
actually.
a joke. It's parody law. Not really. Okay, so candies that had not come out yet. Skittles, Runts, Nerds, Sour Patch Kids were 1985. Airheads and those Chupa Chup lollipops. Do you know those? Okay. Because we used to get those from Germany, and I didn't know if that was like a thing here. Those Chupa Chup lollipops.
I remember Dum Dums more fondly.
Yeah, Dum Dums were more American thing.
What about Tootsie Rolls, like Tootsie Pops? That's
I feel like
70s.
those are old timey, right?
Oh, are they?
No, you're probably right. Like that must have been there.
Runts feels 70s.
It does. It does.
Okay.
Anyway,
That's
so
fun I like that.
a lot of fun facts
Yeah.
about Halloween before we just get into the very much not fun facts.
Well, I
you know?
thought we were also going towards the costume route, and I was going to say Star Wars stuff.
Oh, we're getting actually. That's the next section.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So, let's see. The most popular candy in 1975 was the bubble yum. In 1974, it was blow pops, which is more gum.
What is going on with the 70s
I don't know.
kids?
What is wrong with you all? Okay. So now we're in Pasadena, Texas.
Okay.
Wherever that is. And there are two kids going out to trick or treat named Timothy and Elizabeth O'Brien. And they lived in the Bowling Green subdivision, which is kind of like an upper middle class area. And they were trick or treating with their dad, Ronald, their neighbor, Jim Bates, and then his son, Jim Bates' son. So two kids, their dad, and then the neighbor and his son.
Gotcha.
So we don't know what Elizabeth and Jim Bates' son were dressed up as, but according to the 2014 documentary Killer Legends, which I watched, I think on Amazon Prime, but it's very good, Timothy was wearing a Planet of the Apes costume.
Ah, okay.
Which came out in 1968.
I have a milkshake fact.
Do you?
About Planet of the Apes.
What is it?
So the original Planet of the Apes that came out, all of the extras were in like those really heavy, like gorilla ape suits.
Yeah.
Jeez. Planet of the Gorillas. And it had like, they had full face costumes on that it would have taken forever to take off. The only thing they could drink on set was milkshakes, and they put a straw through the mask and drink milkshakes.
That's like a nice thing to drink when you're like hot and stuffy.
Yeah. But that was the only thing that the extras on the set of Planet of the Apes
I would
drank.
love a behind the scenes photo of the straws like in the costumes.
I hope it's curly.
Yeah. Oh, how fun. I had
Anyway.
no idea. Timothy was wearing a Planet of the Apes costume and like a big mask. So according to Cosmopolitan, do you want to guess some of the, I don't know if you'll guess.
I want to.
Okay.
I'll be wrong, but I'd like to guess.
Okay. The big one, the big popular one at the time anyway.
For
you guess.
costumes?
Yeah.
I would have said Star Wars.
I bet Star Wars was. The one that at least Cosmopolitan said was Daisy Buchanan from The Great Gatsby.
Huh. I would have never
No, I know.
guessed
That's
that.
why I was like, I'm just going to tell you because I don't think.
I would have thought Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, right.
So.
Which, I mean, I don't know the year that started.
Or a Stormtrooper or something, yeah.
I feel like it's the right time period for that. Although, what year did Star Wars even come out?
78? No, not 78. 70...
Because this is 74, so maybe we're like...
74, I think, was Star Wars year.
Oh, maybe it
I was
just
thinking-
came in too close to Halloween to get the costumes out. I don't
Maybe.
know.
I'm not a Star Wars head, but I know
Clearly.
it was the 70s. I know
None of us are.
And it was earlier than 78 because I liked the show,
Well, this
that
was
70s show.
This was 74, so...
Star Wars was a thing for sure.
Okay. So anyway, I'm taking the... sorry, I know it sounds like I can't read because I can't because I'm wearing yellow glasses and it's like, whoa, my eyes. Okay. Sorry, let me get back to my notes.
Can I wear them?
Yes. They might hurt your
go.
head. They're a little tight. Ooh, nice catch.
We should just switch glasses for the rest
Love
of the show.
it.
And then you really can't read.
So, O'Brien and Bates families are trick-or-treating. They find one house and the lights are off. So they're not sure if like the lights are off because it's like part of the spooky decor or if the people inside are like in bed and it's done. So they're like,
I'm not giving you any more candy.
yes, they're like, so we're going to check just in case. So they go and bang on the door. No one comes to the door.
We're going to find out for sure if you don't want to give me
If
candy.
you have sweethearts, we will find them. So they bang on the door. Nobody comes. So the kids go off to the next house. And Ronald is like, I'll just check and see if anyone answers. Nobody answers. And he goes and meets up with them. And he says, okay, I stayed back for a few minutes. Oh my God, your eyes. Sorry. Em looks good right now. In case you're not on our...
look
wow.
great, okay?
You look like you and I are lemon together now.
Feeling good as hell.
Okay, super duper.
I'm also Lizzo.
Also, there's that fun fact.
Not Liz Lemon, Lizzo Lemon.
Oh, well, shit. Okay, so nobody answers the door, so the kids go off, and their dad says, I'll just wait and see if anyone answers, because the kids are like eager to keep trick-or-treating, so the dad stays behind. And when he meets up with them a few minutes later, he says, good news, somebody did answer the door, and they did have a few pixie sticks left over. So
pixie sticks.
Yes. And so they had those big 22-inch pixie sticks.
Ew.
Yeah, the
Happy
fun ones. So he gives them to the kids. And then there's a boy nearby that he recognized from church named Whitney Parker, and who's 10 years old, and he gave him the extra one. So it starts raining, so they head home, and they'd only been trick-or-treating for about half an hour, which sucks because, like, boo, the rain ruined it, I guess. So before bed, Ronald says, okay, each kid can pick out one piece of candy.
Sure.
Which obviously the smart boy,
the biggest baddest
goes,
one.
I want this giant pixie stick.
It's funny how like fun size usually means small, which is an oxymoron.
So
but
not
pixie
fun.
Sticks fucking went there. They're like, we know what fun size
Fun
means.
size? Yeah. Get out of the way, Snickers. Right. So he's like, he's still in his like Planet of the Apes costume, interestingly. So the pixie stick, I just reminded me of the straw.
Like the straws. Yeah, it's like basically, okay. He might have known the milkshake fact. He's like, I know what fits in my ape mask.
He's like, I got to see the behind the scenes footage. So Timothy picks the pixie stick. Whatever. And so it's like the powdered sugar, so it's like kind of stuck. So his dad like helps him get it out of the
like banging on
container,
the end of it.
Yeah, like a ketchup bottle to dislodge it, and kind of rolls it in his hands and gets the candy out. And apparently the candy tasted really bitter. So Ronald grabbed Timothy a glass of Kool-Aid. This is just a very 70s story. And then all of a sudden Timothy starts to have awful stomach pains and he starts vomiting in the bathroom.
Was it cyanide? I didn't mean to be like, you said bitter. And I remember you saying bitter last time.
Was.
Just straight up, like not even mixed with anything. Just direct, straight up cyanide.
So... well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
Also, holy shit.
Yes,
it's terrible.
Bad. So he starts vomiting and then he goes into convulsions and passes out. So of course his dad calls an ambulance. And about 10:30 p.m., less than an hour later, according to a 1974 article by Craig Smizer, who was a reporter for the Houston Chronicle, Timothy had died. He had been rushed to Southmore Hospital, but like on the way to the hospital, died in his father's arms.
Oh, come on!
It's fucking horrible.
Yikes!
So Mike called Dr. Joseph A. Jakimzik, is how I'm going to say it.
Okay.
Who's the chief medical examiner of nearby Harris County. Oh, sorry. To be clear, Mike is the he works for the Pasadena Police Department. Sorry.
Okay.
So Mike Hinton hears that an 8-year-old boy had died. So he calls the chief medical examiner and says, quote, I told him the situation and he asked what the young man's breath smelled like.
Oh, almonds?
Yes.
See, I'm learning things from you.
I know you're getting it.
Usually, other than, I wouldn't have known if you had told one less cyanide story. It was like the last one you told that I
cemented it.
All this. Also, this fucker sounds like
fact.
the reason why we have all these stupid rumors every Halloween about like razors in your brownies or whatever.
This is literally the story that this is exactly that. It
This
propagated the urban legend. And that's why there's this story called Killer Legends on Amazon that's like basically these two documentarians going to like examine different urban legends and seeing like what the truth was.
Fascinating.
And like the truth a lot of times is worse or like even just as scary.
Right. It has to start from somewhere terrible.
Exactly. Like there's some truth to it. So that is where this is like part of that myth.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Very Halloween brand though.
Right?
Very
this is like
well
the
done.
Halloween story.
Well
unfortunately too, because I'm like
sadly
very sad. But so he says the medical examiner says, what does the boy's breath smell like? And he called the morgue, and there was indeed a scent of almonds coming from his mouth. And Dr. Jakimzik said it's cyanide. So you were correct. This was later confirmed by a pathologist in an autopsy. Timothy had consumed enough cyanide to kill 2 people. And it turns out they did tests, and the top 2 inches of the pixie stick tubes had been replaced with cyanide. So like a good chunk. Was just pure cyanide.
And it was fun size too, so it was like not normal pixie stick. It was
right, exactly. It was like
holy
a
shit,
big
cyanide.
chunk of cyanide.
Oh my God.
And right, so the rest of it was pixie stick, but then it had been replaced at the top.
Right.
So it
like
wasn't
the part
whole
the part
thing.
that you get taken the
First
chicken first.
bite, yeah.
Oh,
So
gross.
it's really gross. As M is now an expert of, cyanide is an incredibly poisonous chemical. It's been used as a killing agent in gas chambers. It's just a very, very lethal substance, especially for an 8-year-old boy who's just eating it.
Yeah.
It's been used to lace medicines and that kind of thing in murders. So another
Was it
person,
also the Tylenol murders?
Yeah.
In Chicago? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and exactly. And which is when they used to have the caps that you could open and just put stuff and close them back up, which is different nowadays.
Fun fact, that's what they do in movies. They
like
put powdered
fake-
sugar in it. I put powdered sugar in it. That's how I know.
Fun fact.
Yep.
So, what was I going to say? Cyanide. I was going to say cyanide. Oh, and so, like Em said, the almond smell, I think only like 70% of people can smell it, or there's a certain percentage.
I wonder if it's the same people who think cilantro is disgusting.
Oh, now that would be a fun
Like if
23andMe fun fact.
If you're a super taster, you're also a super
I
smeller.
wonder. That's a good question.
We should get some cyanide and try it because I have the cilantro gene.
We should go buy some cyanide together. Yeah, how fun.
Because you like cilantro, I have that soap gene.
Yeah.
So maybe you could smell cyanide and I can't.
Interesting. I would love to know that. That's a great idea. Okay, well, Eva,
We'll
can you buy
shop
some
it.
cyanide, please?
Eva,
Eva?
I need it on 2-day delivery, please.
Yeah, Amazon Prime it, please. Thank you. So another person who headed down to the hospital was a guy named Lieutenant Gold, who was off duty but heard about the 8-year-old boy that had died and went to the hospital. He was in this movie interviewed, and he said he had a young son himself who was like looked a lot like him. So he said it just like
Hit him.
Yeah, hit him really hard. He said it devastated him that it happened to this child who looked so much like his son. It was just like a very personal connection. And he promised Ronald, Timothy's dad, that he would catch the individual who did this to their son, and was like, that's when I was like, I'm on this case and I'm going to figure out who did it. There wasn't much time to grieve because the other pixie sticks were still out there, remember? And so they're like, well, shit, like if you got 4 pixie sticks.
So, okay, my thought, if I were the chief of police in this situation, first of all, I would not know what to do.
In those glasses, you really look like you could be.
But I at least would know. I would at least assume, wherever this kid got the candy, I know that it's within so many miles of this neighborhood.
Right.
So I would at least be able to pinpoint, like, it's someone that lives in one of these houses.
Yeah. So they did actually end up taking Ronald to be like, which house?
Which house
like,
did
can
you go
you
to?
remember which house it was? So that does happen in a moment.
Sorry.
No, it's true.
Too fast for you.
You're just like Lieutenant Gold.
I know it.
With those gold
Lieutenant
glasses.
Lemon. That's me.
Lieutenant Lemon.
Lieutenant Lizzo Lemon.
Oh my God. I can't.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. I quit, actually. Goodbye. So they were like, well, shit. And he was like, there's 3 more pixie sticks out there. My daughter has one. And then the neighbor's kid has one. And then that boy from church had one. So they're like, we need to find out if they're eating these too. And
yeah,
could be dead also.
Ugh. Like a racing against the clock.
Yes, exactly. So they thankfully got the one from Timothy's sister. They got the one from the neighbor, but then they had to track down that boy from church, Whitney Parker, and make sure he wasn't eating the pixie stick. So his parents are up. He's in bed. And they were like, here's the bag of candy. Go through it. And the pixie stick was not in the bag of candy. And they're like, he probably took it up to his room. So they go up to his room.
Fuck.
The son, his mom's obviously freaking out. They run in and they find him asleep holding the pixie stick, but like he hasn't opened it yet.
Oh my God.
I know.
That was an angel like closing his eyelids.
Seriously.
Like, Mr. Sandman shut up real quick.
1 million%.
In the nick of time.
So it looked like he had tried to open it, but like couldn't open it and fell asleep. I mean,
that's me with my candy. I'm like, I can't open
that's
it.
us with like anything.
I'm just gonna take a depression
it's
nap
like,
now.
man, that was too tiring for me.
It's like when you get like those like the kettle chips with the bag and you can't open.
Forget it.
It's like I'm just
fall asleep with the tear stained chip bag
instead now.
Also comforting though.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank God he hadn't been able to open it, so he was okay and was alive. Which yikes, his mom must be traumatized from that. So obviously, they're all mortified. And this pixie stick that now they have the other two, and it turns out that somebody had stapled them shut because like they had to open them.
Right.
And then so they were stapled shut, which is why he had such a hard time opening it. So thankfully, at least that. So this obviously like became a huge drama in town. Because they're like, somebody in our small neighborhood is like poisoning children.
Definitely worth the small town gossip.
Yes, this is one of those times when it's actually warranted. So someone is out there lacing candy with poison. So people are returning their kids' candy into police to have it examined.
The second, I mean, I'm sure every other parent did this, but like the second I heard that there was a chance the candy was poisoned, and it hadn't yet been a widely like traditional urban legend during Halloween, I would have swiped that candy so quick. I'd have been like, we're going to Target.
Yeah, I'll buy you candy.
I'll buy you 3 times.
I'll buy you an ice cream cone or something. Right?
Yeah.
So naturally, police went to Ronald, and like it's tough because he was still like grieved. I mean, his son had just died, but they're also like, we need to figure out who's doing this.
I know you're hurting more than you ever thought you ever would, but like now I need you to be as sharp as a tack.
Yeah, it's like a really tough line to walk. So obviously they're like, well, he's the one who got the candy from that house. So they asked, what do you remember from getting this candy? And he said he had only seen the person's arms and they were hairy.
Ugh. Okay.
Cool.
Not like hairy arms are gross, but it's like creepy that like the person like preemptively knew to hide their face.
That's the only thing, that he could see. So initially when speaking to police, he couldn't remember which house he had gotten the candy from, which they're like, okay, yeah, you're probably like in turmoil. And then Timothy's funeral came along and the church was packed. He was only a 3rd grader at the time. It's really awful. The O'Brien family was obviously devastated. At the service, his dad, Ronald, sang a hymn and went on to tell reporters, he was all boy. He loved football, basketball, anything. He never met a stranger, but I have my peace in knowing Tim is in heaven now. So the following day, they take him out again and they're like, we want to jog your memory and see if like this time in the daylight, you can figure out what house it was. So on the 3rd trip around the neighborhood, he finally remembered the house. And pretty quickly, they learned that the owner of the house was an air traffic controller, and he had not gotten home until 11 p.m. on Halloween night. And there were several people to verify his alibi. Over 200 people could verify because he was at work.
Was he at a concert?
He was,
oh my God.
I guess he worked at an airport, so like plenty of people saw him, I guess. So he was like, that was not me. I don't know if his arms were hairy or not. But.
So is the theory that it was the wrong house or that someone else broke into his house and tried to look like him?
Let's see.
Oh my God.
So his wife and daughter had been home that evening, but they ran out of candy, which is why they had turned the lights off.
Aha.
Mm-hmm. And they said no one answered the door. None of us answered the door that night. So with no leads, they were like, shit, this is just like back to this urban legend. A sadistic stranger is out here on a random neighborhood handing out candy and like laced with poison for fun. I don't know. So the first documented case of something like this happening was in Long Island in 1964, where a woman named Helen File was upset with older kids that were trick-or-treating. So she handed out dog biscuits, steel wool, and poison ant buttons. And she said it was just a joke, but she was found guilty of endangering children. And then following this in the 70s, there were more reports of tainted candy. Some stated that several children have died and hundreds have narrowly escaped serious injury from razor blades. So that was the one that like we used to hear, razor blades.
I heard razor blades all the time in your candy bars.
I remember hearing like LSD, and I talked to my brother about this recently. He was like, who's giving out their LSD? Like, that doesn't even make sense.
I mean, I always heard the people, I always heard either razors and like the candy that you're going to like chomp down on. Or it was that people were putting drugs in your candy. It's like, who on earth
Why
are
you
sharing
giving away your
expensive
drugs?
ass drugs?
That's like
shut up.
That theory doesn't even make sense. Exactly.
But I heard it, and some people legitimately in my hometown believed like, oh, I have to check their candy because there might be drugs in there.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like unless it's like anthrax, like what are you talking about? Like.
Ant poison also, but like beyond,
or like cyanide,
or
like,
cyanide,
right,
but like nobody's handing out their joints. Like,
no one's
it doesn't make any
me,
sense.
Like their CBD vape. What do you know?
Well, that's fun.
I would love that.
Fun fact. So Timothy's case became like this. I mean, people were basically like,
crazy.
This must just be this urban the legend come true, basically. So obviously it was like wildfire spread on the media. Ronald O'Brien went on to say to the Deer Park Progress, "It's so disheartening to think there wasn't more we could do. We thought we were being so careful. We had even wondered if we should go out this year." So pretty soon information began to flood in that suddenly turned the case in a very different direction. 180. The police got a call from an insurance company reporting something a bit odd. Ronald O'Brien had taken out a $31,000 life insurance policy on both of his on both of his two children just 5 days before Halloween.
That is fishy.
And after Timothy's death, he had called the insurance company to ask when he could come collect his check.
Okay, well, problem solved.
Yeah. As the investigation continued, the police also discovered that Ronald was over $100,000 in debt, which nowadays is more than $500,000 in debt. And this was followed with calls into the police reporting that days before Halloween, Ronald O'Brien had been asking his colleagues about cyanide.
Okay, so this mystery is no longer a mystery.
It's no longer a mystery.
Okay.
No hairy arms. He made it all up. So the police realized pretty quickly this was not the work of an anonymous creepy killer. This man had murdered his own son. So Tuesday, November 5th, which was 5 days after the death of his son, Pasadena police held a news conference to announce that 30-year-old Ronald O'Brien had been arrested and charged with the cyanide poisoning of his son.
So that's why he was rolling it around and messing with it, because he said that the pixie stick sugar was
stuck.
lodged. So let me fix it and play around with it and then put cyanide in it. And then no one else had to worry about their candy.
No, there was cyanide in all of them.
Oh, shit.
He just casually was like...
Oh,
there was cyanide in all of the four
That makes
tubes.
it worse.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he took out a policy on both of his kids because he wasn't sure which one was going to eat the fucking cyanide. It's heinous. Like, it's really fucking heinous.
Wow.
Like, so premeditated. Like, the definition of premeditated. But, he tried to play into that urban legend and was like, I don't know, there must just be some mystery psycho on the loose, I mean,
It's me.
It's me, actually. Oh, God. So, I mean, and to think...
Did he feel bad about it? Like,
No.
did he...
If he felt bad, I don't...
I mean, he
there
wouldn't
was
have
plenty
killed
of
his
time.
children.
Yeah, there was
right.
plenty of time to change his mind.
Sorry, I'll never understand that.
Well, no, right. Exactly.
Thankfully, I'll never understand.
Yeah, I don't think we could understand a person who would ever even think to do that. So, as far as motive, they just always said no comment. On June 3rd, 1975, a jury took 45 minutes to find O'Brien guilty of his son's death, as well as 4 counts of attempted murder on the other children, and he was sentenced to death.
Wow.
In a slightly ironic turn of events, he was originally sentenced to be executed on October 31st, 1984, on Halloween.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So not long after he was convicted, unsurprisingly, his wife divorced him.
Good. If she didn't, I would have been like, what's going on?
Yes. You can't find that much on her. Her name's Daneen O'Brien. She refused to speak to anyone after her husband's conviction.
Oh, can you imagine what she's going through? Holy shit. She's probably still going through it.
Horrific. So apparently she broke her silence to a newspaper called UPI. She said she remarried 4 years after Ronald's sentence and has since commented, "I don't hate Ronald. I just feel nothing. My concern during these years have not been for myself. They have been with my daughter. She has no ties to him. I think she has struggled through that, but she accepts the fact that he intended to kill her too. We refer to him in this house as Ronald, and he is her biological father only and nothing more." She also said, "There were early signs in our marriage that he was a liar. He only admitted to me once that he lied, but never about Tim's death, and remembered once before Tim's death that he quoted the Bible story about how Abraham must have felt about sacrificing his only son."
Ew. Okay.
Sicko. Sicko.
Wow.
She actually never cashed the $31,000 life insurance policy to this day because she calls it blood money and understandably doesn't want to use it.
Right. We're going to do drive around in a car that came out of your son's death.
Yuck. Yeah, exactly. So while on death row, Ronald was despised by his fellow inmates for killing his own child. Apparently that's not a good look even in prison.
Oh, not that I know, but I feel like it's an understood thing that
crimes against children.
Yeah, if you hurt a child in jail, you're scum of the earth.
Yeah. So he was not liked. Let's put it that way. Not favored. They would call him Candyman, which is where he came up with that name.
I see.
And so the inmates apparently petitioned to hold an organized demonstration on his execution date to express their hatred of him.
Wow.
That's literally how much they hated him.
Wow.
During his time at Huntsville Prison, when interviewed on TV, O'Brien said, "I have stated from the very beginning that I've had nothing at all to do with this. I maintain that now, if I were to take a polygraph now, just like I was from the very first time they arrested me, because I have no guilt, I'm not worried about what happens to my physical body. When I die, I know where I'm going. This is the worst sentence of all. When you consider the victim of this crime, it actually turns out to be me."
Shut the fuck
Is
up.
that not the most
That's
fucking
the most
stomach
narcissistic
churning? Yeah.
bullshit I've ever heard in my life.
That's when you know.
Before you even said it, I was like, this is going to be something I can't even process.
It churns my stomach, really. So the reporter said, "You are accused of ruining Halloween for everybody." And he replied, "Well, that's a matter of opinion." It's like, oh, is it though?
It's a matter of everyone versus your weird, shitty opinion.
Yeah. Your non-opinion
Yeah.
and just horrible crime. So on March 31st, 1984, at 12:40 a.m., O'Brien was officially executed by lethal injection. Before his execution, he continued to insist that he was innocent, and a crowd of demonstrators gathered outside as he died, some even mockingly shouting "trick or treat." His final,
Okay, I'm not gonna condone any of this, but I am gonna say A+ on creativity.
Yeah, I mean it's
an original.
It's hand in hand. Yeah, it works well.
Nice full circle.
His final statement he had written on a piece of paper was, quote, "What is about to transpire in a few moments is wrong!" Exclamation point.
Is it? No, it's not.
However, we as human beings do make mistakes and errors. Like, I guess, murdering my own child.
By the way, I'm only saying no, it's not because this is the bullshit coming out of this guy's mouth of
Yeah.
it was an error. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah,
What are you
I am
talking
not
about?
a proponent of the death penalty. Let me just be clear about that. So that's not what I'm saying.
But also,
what I'm saying is,
but we're not sympathizing either with the
don't
fact
call
that
yourself a fucking
you have made a mistake, a simple error,
an error in judgment. That is not what this is. Yeah,
that's exactly it. Yeah.
So the execution, this is what he wrote. The execution is one of those wrongs, yet doesn't mean our whole system of justice is wrong. Therefore, I would forgive all who have taken part in any way in my death. Also, to anyone I have offended in any way during my 39 years, I pray and ask your forgiveness, just as I forgive anyone who offended me in any way.
It's so arrogant and condescending to be like, I forgive you.
Like,
it's
nobody asked for your fucking
You're
forgiveness.
a murderer. Like, I
don't want your forgiveness.
We haven't done anything wrong.
I'm not
what are you
sorry
talking about?
that you're in jail. So he said, I pray and ask God's forgiveness for all of us respectively as human beings. Ew. To my loved ones, I extend my undying love to those close to, even my daughter that I attempted to murder. Like, Christ. I mean, to those close to me, know in your hearts I love you one and all. God bless you all, and may God's best blessings be always yours, Ronald C. O'Brien. P.S. During my time here, I've been treated well by all TDC personnel. Okay. Cool.
He's literally giving a customer service
review. A 5-star Yelp review.
Yikes.
And they're like, we don't want to be a part of this.
Oh my gosh.
So out of fear of what happened to Timothy, trick-or-treating was banned for a long time in Deer Park. And around America, the 80s saw hospitals offering x-rays for Halloween candy. Ronald had basically tried to hide behind the smokescreen of an urban legend. To this day, he is like a validation of people's worst fears, like parents' worst fears.
Like, it's possible.
It happened, yeah. However, this was a very premeditated, he just used that as a cover. It wasn't like he was the guy out there poisoning random. I mean, clearly he was going to poison other children as well as part of his plan, or didn't care. They were collateral damage.
But there could be one person out there who doesn't have a personal goal of needing to get out of debt. It could just be one person who wants to hurt kids.
So that's the whole urban legend, but that's never really happened outside. Like this case, he hid behind that urban legend of there's mystery men out there giving out poison, and it's like there's no proof of that anywhere. Right. This was not a mystery man. He murdered his own son on purpose and then hid behind that whole
But like you said, it's a
story.
validation that it's a valid fear for people to now be like, well, if you did it, someone else could.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So yikes. So with COVID-19, obviously, who knows what the hell is going on with trick-or-treating? I know in my neighborhood, it's 6 to 8 p.m. I'm still trying to decide the best way to handle that.
A lot of people are getting PVC pipe and making a slide.
Yeah, that's actually, I have a photo of that here for our YouTube, because that is a thing a lot of people are doing. So obviously, apparently, surfaces of candy are not a high level of exchanging germs. I don't know, apparently. But obviously, any sort of, touching anything is still dangerous.
I wonder if you can get the light bulbs that they use in here and just put it on top of the bowl of candy and just have it constantly disinfected.
Oh, like a UV light?
Yeah.
It's kind of smart. So some other things people are doing, I guess, are scavenger hunts around the house, at home, costume parades like virtually over Zoom, Halloween movie nights, and if you are trick-or-treating, so apparently according to a guy named Dr. Morjani, like I said, the transmission of the coronavirus on surfaces is low, but if you are nervous, you can wipe down the candy wrappers before your kids touch them for safety purposes. And they recommend not allowing children to eat candy as they trick-or-treat, like eat something before.
Because you're touching it and putting it in your mouth.
Yeah, and like you haven't had a chance to wash your hands or anything like that. Make sure to look through candy because, I mean, this is pretty much all you can do is just to check that, your pixie stick hasn't been stapled shut or that the candy hasn't been tampered with. If there's pinholes, discoloration, tears in the wrappers, just throw it away. So it's best to stick to neighborhoods where you know the people handing out candy. That's just another safety tip. And if you are handing out candy, it's safer for one person to do it than have, a communal bowl where everyone's grabbing pieces. And then there's this other idea that some people have done, which is a reverse drive-by Halloween setup, which kids stand in their own yards with their costumes on, and then adults drive through and toss candy their way, which is kind of fun. I like that.
That's like kind of like a parade situation.
Yeah, like an opposite parade.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of fun. And there's this YouTube channel called Wicked Makers, and they created a candy slide where you can drop candy through a tube. And like I said, we have a photo of that here. And that's that. So it is on in my neighborhood. I'm a little nervous because I did decorate for Halloween. So I'm like, I feel like obligated to not like hide in the dark. But also I'm like, I don't know if that's safe. So I'm trying to figure out the best method of Halloween.
I like the idea of the slide. I do too. I think that's fun. And also I know they make UV light disinfectant things for your phones. You could probably instead of put your phone there, throw a shitload of like fun sized candy in there, just like leave it as like a little container that's disinfecting, and then kind of dump it into the slide and just send it this way.
Yeah.
I don't know. We never get trick-or-treaters because I'm in an apartment, which always blows my mind because I feel like an apartment is the best place to go trick-or-treating because it's so much access.
But there are just so few kids, I feel like, in those places.
I know. A lot of cockroaches, though.
Now that I'm like in a...
They might knock on my door.
They don't need to knock.
They don't walk right in like they fucking own the place.
Yeah. So anyway, happy Halloween. Please be safe. Please be careful. Please don't go to Halloween parties unless they're virtual. Really, really don't.
Maybe just host a Halloween party and watch Zak Bagans Quarantine or Ghost Adventures Quarantine.
That's the ultimate Halloween party.
You'll have a great time and you'll be very scared by the end.
Yeah. Then let us know what you think on Twitter, I guess.
Thank you guys so much for listening to our Halloween spooky episode. Yay. I feel like we really pulled out all the stops, at least with the Halloween live party. If you got to watch that, see me dressed as Xenon. You're getting
me as a lemon again.
Lemon for the millionth time in your life. And
we did a Ouija board on the live stream.
We did a Ouija board.
It's still up there.
And we're also putting out another additional little bonus video on Patreon because there was one Halloween activity we didn't get to. And so the next day I went over to the apartment and did it with Christine. So we
filmed it,
a little bonus footage too from what should have been the Halloween party. So,
and again, we have merch coming out this week and patrons get a discount. So we'll send that your way as soon as we have the code. Mm-hmm. And that's why we drink at home alone on Zoom because parties are dangerous. The end.
Halloween is here after this week.
Almost Christmas.
Bye.